We're live. All right, all right, all right. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome, 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 welcome to Couples Unplugged Live Talk with Pastor Sharon that Smart. And I'm so excited because my guests tonight are special on so many levels for so many reasons. So y'all give me a second because y'all know how we do. I'm waiting right now to get the go ahead that we are live.
Let's
Um,
get
yeah, yeah, we are. I mean, we are live, but I'm just saying to get so I could get the link for the live so that I could share it with you guys because I want you all to share. So share the live. If you are watching us now, there we go. I just hold on. I want you all to share. So see, there we go. Y'all heard me. I'm gonna learn how to get this here done. Y'all know this ain't my strong point, but I'm sending this to the cars right now in their inbox. Ooh, child. Melissa, I'm sending it to you.
All right.
All right. That's the YouTube link I just sent you.
Got it.
All right. And whichever one of y'all got your volume up on your external, maybe it's your phone. I just need you to turn that down for me.
You hear something?
Not now I don't. I did a little while ago, but I don't now. We're good to go there. Let me go ahead and pull it. I'm still hearing a little feedback. Not sure where it's coming from.
Yeah, we are only on one device at this time.
Got you. Okay. So that's cool. That's good. It's coming.
Awesome.
All right. So we are good. We're ready to go. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Lady Change. Lady Change is in the building tonight. I need you to share because she's on Facebook. I'm just trying to find where she at on Facebook. There you go, right there. I see it. She on sharing that smart. We gonna get it together. They have me going a couple of places. Y'all go ahead. Melissa, you see it? There y'all go. All right, I got us. There we go. There we go. And they take us through changes trying to get.
Hey
Um,
man, social media is something else, ain't it?
listen,
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
you ain't got no other choice. You have no other choice. They done got us spoiled to it.
Right.
They done got us used to it, spoiled to it. What would we do if they take it from us?
Right,
Exactly.
exactly.
Well, what would we do if they
Well,
now tell us it ain't free no more? Now you got to pay for it.
Now you got to pay for it.
Now you got to pay for it. Would you pay for it?
you know what?
It's an investment.
It has its uses. Trust me, we are definitely looking to invest in some things, social media wise. Hopefully, we can get to talk about a little bit of that tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So
Awesome. Well, we are excited. I am Pastor Sharon, that smart pastor of the Dwelling Church of God, and I am super, super excited to have my guests on tonight, which are my baby mama and daddy. Because people were trying to figure that out.
they trying to figure it out.
They were trying to figure it out. I said, I got my baby mama and baby daddy on tonight. We gonna tell y'all how that came to be, huh? Because me and Melissa share the same baby daddy. They wouldn't understand it, Melissa. They wouldn't understand it. So without further delay or ado, I would love to present to some and introduce to others none other than Elder Daniel Carr
Yeah.
and his lovely elect lady Melissa Carr. The Carr Chronicles tonight. I am so excited to have y'all on tonight, kicking off Couples Unplugged Live Talk. When I thought about kicking off couples because we just kind of ended with the singles, although they saying we got to run it back because
Gotta run it back.
the singles ready. Tanya was my last guest on the single. She brought it home. But when I thought about bringing couples on, you guys were my first thought to do this with. One, because I know your transparency. Two, because you got layers to this thing. And I knew that and because you guys are a part of the marriage ministry at Victorious Praise Fellowship Church of God in Christ, I just knew you guys would be the perfect couple to kick this off with. Wow. We got another couple coming up next week. We're going to talk a little bit about them. But right now, tonight is y'all's night. The stage is set for you guys to let us know who are the Carrs and what makes up these layers to this thing. Okay. Right. So I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to let y'all introduce yourselves individually and collectively, and then we're going to get into some questions that we have tonight.
Well, Pastor Smart, first of all, thank you for allowing us to share this platform with you. We are honored to be here with our baby mama. But no, we're excited. Who are we? Who's the Carr? That's a question that's really loaded.
Very.
Because we have so much substance that makes us who we are today. It didn't just happen overnight. Matter of fact, we got 20 plus years in the game of this thing called relationship and marriage and just being together.
Wait a minute. You say you got how many years in the game?
20
years.
Going on 21.
Because y'all just celebrated your 20th anniversary.
Yes, we did.
I heard y'all did it big too.
Man, listen. Shannon, I'm mad at you missed our event.
Man, don't even bring it up.
I'm just saying,
I'm mad I missed it too.
They said that was the event of the century.
I heard. And I missed it. I missed it.
No, but we knew it was time, man. Because 20 years, she been putting up with me, and so I thought it only not robbery, but to celebrate this young lady. I'd rather be able to celebrate her than to some other things. So
see what we do.
But no, it's been fun. It's been a journey. It's been sad. It's been happy. It's been some angers,
everything,
some disappointments, some setbacks, some success. But through it all, we can say one thing as always been constant in our life, in our marriage, is that we put God first.
Yeah.
Amen.
And that kind of help us to navigate through some of those situations. But it was essential then. And it's just as essential now to us.
Absolutely. And I would say he said it all. We have learned how to argue well.
I like that. Somebody need to put that in the chat. Learn how to argue well.
Not that we don't.
Not that we don't.
And a lot of people are like, you guys just look so blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, if only you knew that this morning. No. But, there's times, there's real things happening, but we just learned how to argue well. We've learned how to respect each other. Because I think that is a big, huge thing, is respecting each other. I'm not going to do certain things to embarrass him or bring him down in front of people or the children. So that's really important. And
I respect that.
Yeah, so that's just, one of the things that we worked on too. And learning to talk through things a lot. Versus arguing and trying to see. I try to put myself in his shoes and his role in our life and see what he's thinking and feeling and might be feeling and try to adjust myself to what would be helpful.
That's powerful. Blessings, Bishop Christopher Mark Williams. Welcome to Live Couples Unplugged Live Talk tonight with Elder Daniel, and elect Lady Carr on tonight. Yeah.
Bishop,
whether you want it or not.
What's going on, Bishop? How you doing, sir?
Yes. We are excited to have you guys on. And you and listen, it was the respect theme. Even across the singles unplugged, when we talk, that respect is a big thing. You know what I'm saying? That respect is a big thing because, especially from the male's perspective, right? One of the things my cousin Eric said that, if a woman lacks respect for the man, then they really don't have anything because that respect is big, to him. And so, he had another thing I had liked. Of course, he said, men are simple. Women are complicated. He said, men want three things. They want their woman to be their peace.
Yeah.
Give them a piece and make them a sandwich.
I would say that could really be simplified, and that's really well put together. Said, be my piece, give me a piece. I think we mastered that second part pretty well, huh?
Yeah. I would say y'all mastered it very well, seeing as how the Carr 5 that you are.
You said something, Sharon, that you talk about respect, and you know what, and I talk about this often. It's not complicated, and I like to think that God is pretty smart. In His Word, He talks about how a woman needs to be loved, but a man needs to be honored.
Yeah.
And so when you understand your roles and how to best serve someone,
Wow.
When you understand your role.
Say that again.
When you understand your role and how to best serve someone.
That part.
That's how you begin to build and forge those relationships that last. It's not the fact. Though I'm okay with just chilling. I understand that she has a level of love that she requires, and so that's the thing I'm working on. So that's the thing I need to work on. Well, she ain't do me right this week. Okay, focus, Daniel. Stay focused. She gotta be loved. Love her through it, and be able to get her back to where you want her. Because the benefit of doing service is that you reap the benefit. You reap the harvest. If you plant those seeds and you doing those things that you need to do to make it flourish, you reap the harvest. And some people are like, well, I didn't reap it. You may not reap it there, but you will reap a harvest. Because guess what? What there, if you already now you have the mechanics in your situation, it might wind up working for you.
Absolutely. I agree. One of the things I do love about your family and the dynamics, because you are a young couple, you kept her pregnant every year. There was a baby. She gave a new meaning to barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. I'm talking about, like, I know when I met y'all, I think now it's probably about 20, right at 20 years.
Yeah, we right there.
Yeah, we've been a long time together. And y'all had the 3 boys, and then she got pregnant with my boy. Y'all added a girl to the group. So there's 4 boys and 1 girl in the Carr family.
Yes. And boy.
And what are their names?
So you have Daniel Jr., Devin, Dylan, Dean, and Malaya.
See, you had to get an M in there because he had all the D's. I had
to slide it in.
Listen, he had all the D's covered.
It was up to me.
And he wasn't trying to have it. Her name was going to be Dakota, but it's in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, Malaya Dakota. Okay, so you still got
Malaya Dakota. He still got the D in it.
He still got the D in it.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
So let's go back, because we're saying 20 years. That's a long time. First of all, I applaud you, right? Because that's a long time, 2 decades of marriage. How did you guys meet?
Well, let me tell you. First of all, I tell these people.
He's not telling the right story.
I am.
I'll let him go with
how we met. first of all, she was at Rutgers University. We were both from. Well, she's from New York
originally, but living in Jersey,
but living
going
in New
to
Jersey
school.
at the time.
Yeah.
We both were in New Jersey, so we were at Rutgers University. She was part of the gospel choir, and I was the musical director for the gospel choir that year. And so, we were just. It was funny because we never really talked much until I think maybe one time we were all at dinner.
We were all on gospel choir tour,
and we were all at dinner, and one of my musician friends was picking with her, and I just said out the blue, "Hey, leave my wife alone." Like,
and I had not said two words.
We probably hadn't spoken to each other all about hi and bye, and I don't think I was looking at her at the time. I'm sure, I might have seen her, but it wasn't on that level, and so that was the first encounter.
And I'm sure I clutched my pearls like, who?
And so the second encounter, we were actually on a gospel tour at the time, and we were in somebody's room.
Yeah. Oh, we were
having a Bible
study in one
stuff like that because some kids wanted to.
A freshman just got saved and she wanted to learn.
Yeah.
She had a lot of questions, very good questions about why this, if God loves us, why that, and so he was trying to teach her that those things.
And so as I'm teaching, my Bible happened to be across the room. I look up and I said, I don't remember, is it baby or
he did. He said, "Baby, can you hand me my Bible?" And I turned around very regular and was like, okay. And then I was like, wait, it felt very weird. I was like, why did I respond like it was regular, like it was supposed to be? And I gave it to him.
At that moment, I knew that she was going to be my wife.
Wow.
That was the moment I knew that she was going to be my wife. I was like, I just had an epiphany. The room,
it was like quiet, like
the
everybody
room
left
slowed
the room
down. And it was just like, oh.
No, the heavens open.
Right.
Like
everybody
like
was just us.
She just came down here just for you. But no, I knew at that moment she was gonna be my wife. But here's the funny part about it, Sharon. She grew up like the Huxtables. I grew up like Good Time. We were on the opposite sides of the field. And so this whole time, we were trying to merge together two different identities, two different perspectives on lives and just upbringings and about relationship and how they share all that stuff. So we, for the first 3 to 4 years, we went through it.
Mm-hmm. We did. It was a lot of, and then we moved when we moved away from New Jersey. We were away from everyone. So we had to figure this thing out for ourselves because there was nobody to really lean on. I mean, you can call your family members, but sometimes you're in a position where you're like, I don't want to worry them with my issues, because especially if it's your mom and dad, you're already out there on an island. They're gonna worry. So you try not to involve them, and you just try to function and do things. So you end up fumbling around until you figure out things, and you do a lot of hopefully apologizing for things you say. Things you do that are not conducive to making your marriage be a good marriage. So we spent a lot of time doing a lot of that, but we figured out then. I remember when we were living in Clayton, is where we came to when we first got here, and we had a huge argument. I said some ugly things, and we didn't talk for so long, and that was it was challenging because, like I said, it was just us. So we're on an island. Now we put each of ourselves individually on this island.
Wow.
While raising these 3 children and just talking out of necessity. And so what we realized, we couldn't even, we didn't like not being friends.
Oh.
I
think that was the first time we learned that our job is not to argue, but to figure out how to best argue.
Mm-hmm. And to
because
be friends,
we understood that we're going to have these conflicts. And I thank God for connecting us with VPF, Victoria's Praise, and the Marriage Ministry. I was under the wings of the Randy.
Randy, the Eatons.
the Eatons, and then you had Irvin, Tawanda,
yeah,
who kind of just
Whitleys.
the Whitleys. They just kind of took us under their wings and help us
and
to
then
develop.
the examples of our parents.
Man, but we understand. Like, so a lot of times people focus on trying not to argue or fuss and fight. No, we argue and fuss and fight because we are who we are. Right? She see things the way she see things. I see things the way I see things. She experienced things the way she experienced it, and so on and so on. So it's not the case of not arguing, but it's or the conflict, but just a matter of how to best endure endure the conflict, to be able to address the conflict, and when to address the conflict, because everybody,
Yeah. So I think that was the best thing. Yeah, is learning how and when, because it's going to come.
I see Lady Change she's putting some points out as you guys are talking. She put a point here that I can see. It says engage versus common interest via a common interest, engage via a common interest. On point, roommates versus relationship. Becoming one is work. One of the things you said, I wanted to kind of backtrack back to it, and I thought I like to use the term heated fellowship.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, we had some heated fellowship, but you never come out of fellowship. It might be heated, but fellowship must always be at the forefront. The two are one.
That's right.
That's good.
Fellowship, relationship, you understand that ship part, right? That we ain't nobody jumping off the ship. We in the ship. It might be hot, but we staying in the ship. And so to hear you say argue well, it made me think about something I like to call heated fellowship.
That's good. That's good.
So sometimes heated fellowship is necessary because it could get a little cold.
Yeah. And it brings things out.
And heat is necessary. Exactly, because if you both, like he said, you came from the Huxtables and he came from Good Times, and now you got two different ideologies, two different backgrounds, trying to merge the two, becoming one. That's a continuous, daily, even 20 years later,
absolutely.
Still becoming one. So now you got to take your ideologies, mix with her ideology, your love language and her love language, and make sure that everybody is speaking on at least an even tone where you can understand, because I'm sure her love language ain't yours and yours ain't hers. Have y'all ever discovered that in our talk? I'm sure after 20 years. Yeah. What is Mel's love language, Daniel?
Oh, and it changed.
I'm about to say, at what time period are you talking about?
So then there's that.
That's what we learned too, that our love languages changes. It started out where, it might have been her love language might have been words of affection at the point. Now it's time and affection, or maybe
physical touch.
Physical touch. You got your accessories. It literally changes.
It changes.
And I see that's just it. When you're serving, you recognize those changes. When you are actively engaged in the relationship, you recognize when something is changing. Because here we haven't quite got to. We're in another stage of our life now. Our kids are getting older, and so we're trying to learn each other from this perspective. Because the last 18 years of the 20-year marriage, we've been parenting.
Right. So y'all ain't had a chance to really get in there. Lady Chain said makes for good makeup sex. The heated fellowship makes for good makeup sex.
Yes, sir.
But the thing is, you are absolutely right. For the first 2 years, it was just y'all, but then 18 years after that, y'all been raising children.
Yes. So while you're trying to figure out how to become one, you're also raising these other people.
Right.
And try to impart values and ideas and understanding and ways to grow and become their best selves. And they're going to have their complications too, that you have to, I have to park this here and slide over here and deal with this complication that they have going on.
Oh, wow.
It's management.
Yeah, exactly.
At its finest.
Exactly. Because you got 5 different personalities. Counting
Right.
Daniels is 6, and when you add yours, that's 7. So you
Right.
got 7 different personalities on any given day. Can be
You know,
different at any given time during the day. So
definitely.
yeah, I definitely get it. So now we know that you met on a college campus in the gospel choir. He knew that you was his wife off the bat. What made you leave? Because see, a lot of people, I did it, but a lot of people don't have that tenacity and that fire, that courage to just uproot themselves from the foundation that they know
Mm-hmm.
to come to a whole different state, several states away from where your family is.
Mm-hmm.
How did y'all end up in North Carolina?
How? Because I was kicking and screaming at first. Because I'm a northerner all day long, but here we are.
So at the time, the company I was working with, they had a couple promotions available for me. One of 3 locations we had an option to choose from, and so I did choose North Carolina because I've been down to North Carolina every year of my life in the summertime, but further east, Greenville, because that's where my father's side of the family, that's where they're from. Oh, North Carolina, I used to love going down to North Carolina, because North Carolina, I go down and see my cousins, and we just kind of grew up, but I didn't realize that was further east, and I was like 2 hours from where we actually relocated to. So that was the reason why. It was job put me down here. Decision was simple. I wanted to give my family a better opportunity to grow, or give them a life that I didn't necessarily have.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, the life I lived was great. Don't get me wrong. I did not know I was poor. I didn't know that government cheese was an issue. I didn't know that, what I'm saying? Because the life I lived was great. But when you know better,
You do
Mm-hmm.
you
better.
do better.
Yeah.
And so one of the driving forces for me personally was to give my family a better life, a better opportunity to live, a better life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad we did though. It was
Yeah,
it was meant. Yeah. We
absolutely.
was supposed to be here.
So you say you come to North Carolina with a job. You moved to Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
How did you end up in Durham at Victoria's Praise?
Ooh wee.
The story is funny.
I'm not gonna name any names. I'm just gonna say, we are very church, God rooted people, and we really wanted a home. We wanted a church home, and we've grown up. Both of us we're as people who've grown up in a certain church from our birth till we were older adults, and I think when we thought of church and church family and church home, that's the life we've known. We've known growing up with these same pastors and these same people. And so when we came down here, we had the same expectation to find that, not realizing that we are older and church itself at the time was making a transition to, not that it wasn't family oriented, but it was just, there was a lot of mega and everything was going on.
Evolving,
Church
right?
was just really evolving. And so I think we were looking to still have the same touch with our pastors that we did growing up. So came down here looking for churches, and every Sunday we're visiting different places, just trying to see what this is like, that's like. And every Sunday feeling like this is just not it. It's just, like we didn't, not that the churches weren't great, but it didn't pull us. It didn't draw. There was nothing that was saying, this is it. This is where God wants you to be. And so we would come home on Sundays and I would literally be in tears. Like, we're never going to find anything. We're just be down here. And he kept saying, we're going to find something. It's okay. We're going to find something. Visit a particular church, and the church does recording. And I laugh because he's hilarious. When it comes to him and his family, if you can't do right by his family, you can't do right by him. So he's like, we're out of here. So we go to the church. They start recording my third, Dylan's a baby. And he starts to gurgle. He's not even crying. And there's like somebody right there next to me, like, can I take you to the cry room? And I was like, to the what? I didn't even know that existed. Right. Because I thought babies cry in church, and this is what we do. That's what happens, right? So anyway, long story short, when we left the church, we went outside in this cry room. He came along afterwards and said, "Why is my wife in this room? Oh, if you can't minister to her in here, then you can't minister to any of us. So we're leaving." So we literally just walked out of that church.
And this is a prominent church
in
the area.
It's you know, they wanted to tell you when to stand up, when to praise, and I was like, this something is no. So we left that church. We had been listening to Marshetta Parker singing "God Is My Refuge" on the radio. Like for a while, we're like, we just love this song. Like we fell in love with the song. And then all of a sudden we heard Victorious Praise advertised. Here we go visit.
Before we go to Victorious Praise.
Oh.
We went to another church.
Oh dear.
Another prominent church. And we got there and they wanted to send us to the overflow room.
Oh, with the big TV. So
I was like, if I want to watch see, I'm from Jersey. So, my attitude was on 1,000. I was just, fresh
the Lord
out
was
here.
Still working on it.
I'm like, if I wanted to watch TV, I could have stayed at home and watched TV. I came to church to be a part of the fellowship. So I was like, we leaving. That was that.
That was the second church.
So we left that church. It was funny that we left that church and then we came to Victorious Praise that same day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we got there and we're sitting in the back and, we're just waiting for church start. Church starts. Great service. We really enjoyed it. Great word. And then Marshetta comes on to do praise and worship. And we were like, this is crazy, right? Because we heard her on the radio. We were like, so we're like, okay, a little starstruck, And then, pastor is doing the altar call, and he's like, I normally don't do altar call this long. He's like, but I just feel like there's somebody in here who's been looking for a church, and they're just really trying to find it. And he's like, and the Lord is like, now he didn't see us. He didn't even see us. He's like, the Lord is, telling me it's like a family. And I was like,
gosh,
that's got to be us. I was like, just come on, it's us. So we go up and we join, and he start, you know how pastor is. He's like, oh, wait a minute. I said a family. I didn't say it was going to be like this, and she's pregnant. I was like, Lord. So, boom, we've been there ever since.
Wow, that's phenomenal, because I remember when you guys did come to Victorious Praise, and you were pregnant with my baby. And I just remember you guys coming in, and you were not strangers. Like, you came and got right in, got busy, and you still are today. Busy and a vital part of the ministry. You really serve Superintendent Pastor Will Nichols, soon to be Bishop, very well. I know, I said it. But I have watched you guys grow. I know that from the outside looking in, people have a perception of what they think your marriage is. Having some insight, though, it runs deeper, than people actually know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about balance, because Daniel not only plays for the church, he plays for other churches. He plays for bands. He does. So he's a active musician. You are a full-time wife and mother. And part-time backup singer when he needs you. How do you handle, or how do you, as a family, a couple, how do you handle, have you ever felt like, because I knew at one point, although my marriage didn't last but 2 seconds, did you ever feel like you were still single but married?
Absolutely. Yeah. It gets, you have moments where it can get lonely. I mean, and I know you think people are like, people who are single often think, but you have a husband, or but you have a wife, but sometimes you guys are running so much in the things in the roles that you have, that he can't run my role for me. I can't run his role for him. And sometimes we can't run those roles together. And so it gets sometimes to a place where you can feel lonely. You feel like and then there's times within that space where, as a wife who's serving her husband, who's being a helpmate, I have things that I feel, but I may not share it all the time because I'm concerned about adding more to what he already has going on. So rather than add more, sometimes you just stay with your own thoughts, and then that can be, lonely, and you feel like, Dad, where do I put this? Because he's my person, but I can't give that to my person because he's got too much already. So yeah, it definitely can.
Wow. How about you, Daniel?
I think I want to go back to your word balance. I think a lot of time when people think about balance, they believe it should look a certain way, or be a certain thing, or have a certain experience. I think sometimes balance can be, if in the wrong, can misinterpreted. Um, to me, I had to learn that balance was the ability to function effectively in the areas of my life that matters. Function as a husband effectively. Function as a father.
Mm-hmm.
Function as a minister, and function as a co-worker. So be able to function. And now sometimes being able to function may not necessarily require the same time that other areas of your life might require. So I might have to stop this altogether because right now my son is being a knucklehead, and I got to buckle down on him to make sure that I don't lose my son to craziness because he lost his mind, for example, right? Now I understand that my time's required here because in order for me to be impactful in his life at this moment that he needs me to be there, I have to be present.
Exactly.
To make sure that this marriage doesn't fall apart, I have to be present when necessary. And then, when healthy, I got to be able to function to
in
be
the
able
next
to
space, yeah.
in other areas of my life that I operate in.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, and sometimes you miss the mark.
Yeah.
You miss the mark, Shanna. We're not perfect. We don't get it right. We don't always understand it. Sometimes we overextend ourselves in areas that we shouldn't, and sometimes we underextend ourselves in other areas. So it's always going to be a balancing act, and it's always going to be something that we'll work towards.
Yeah, I also think what helps with balancing is, especially like for us with ministry things, we actually enjoy that. Like, we enjoyed being a part of the marriage ministry. We enjoy um, working in the music department, working in the arts and mind department at the church. We enjoy those things. So since we enjoy that, that's something we are doing together. It's not the most like romantic type of balance, but it is a balance of ministry where we're like, if you guys can find something that you guys enjoy together, it doesn't always feel like, sometimes it is work. It is work, obviously, but it doesn't feel so much as work because you guys are working in it together. But yeah, so it kind of balances out because it gives you time. If you're over here doing this thing and he's over there doing that thing, then that's when it kind of feels a little bit more lonely. But it does help when you enjoy and you're a part of those things together.
And I love the fact that your family is involved. Your sons
Yes.
and they
Yeah.
mom, your baby
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah.
So it's really a family thing because everybody is, even the knuckleheads. You know what I'm saying? They
They're my
still
boy.
they
They're my
still
boy.
mom and they still serving God, and so you still training them up in the way that they should go.
Yeah.
Amen. Don't
Amen.
mean that I'm a witness. Don't mean that they always gonna go that way, but we do our part as much as we can.
Right.
Identity, because two becoming one in 20 years, have either of you ever felt like you've lost your identity? Like, have you ever looked in the mirror and said, who am I?
I don't think that happened to me in the marriage. It happened to me in parenting. More so than in the marriage, because I kind of felt like he liked me as me, and that's why he married me. So that never was my area. But when it came to the children, it was like, what do you like to do? Because I've been mothering for so long. So outside of that, I'm like, what's your favorite color? What do you what do you like to do? I spent so much time doing that. So I think for me that was it. So I did feel like in those moments, but as they're in these stages now, and even I would say a few years ago, like when we started feeling comfortable with them staying home by themselves, I started to get a little bit of that back. Yeah. Because then I started to be me and not just mom.
Right.
So, yeah, for me that's what it was. But it was just taking that back and doing some things for yourself.
Right.
For you that helped with that.
And you brought up something I really want to share this and just kind of drop this in, whether you're single or married, and if you're a parent, you're a mom, even as a dad, don't lose yourself, because I'm a professional mother. I've been raising children since I was 21 years old. I'm 56 now, and they're all grown with children of their own, some of them, right? But I remember when the last one of the 4 left the house. And I'll never forget the day it hit me that I had an empty nest. Because I was running downstairs to come make dinner and stopped in the middle of the stairs and sat on the step and said, I don't have to.
I don't have to.
Because it's nobody but me. And I sat in that. Like, what do I do now? Because my whole life was all surrounded by my children. And I did that was the one thing that I was consistent in. I showed up when I didn't feel like it, didn't want to, was sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't get a day off. So when I heard you just now, I was like, yes, don't lose yourself, because them children grow up and they go out and they forget. So don't lose yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Y'all continue to go on your trips and leave them. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
Now.
That's
but
also part of that.
I love it.
I think you're onto something, and I can identify with that, because the first time I felt my family or my kids' identity being different than what I perceived our family identity to be, it did something to me. Like, I was like, all this time I've been working towards this, and you don't want to do this, and this is not what we're going to do, but we spent 10 years working on this, and it literally did something to me, because I began to forge my identity and an identity of this. And I lost me, because at the time, my desires was, anytime you ask me, what you want to do? Make sure my kids got what they need. What you need? I'm straight. I'm going to get my kids what they need. Where you want to go? Where do the kids want to go? So, you know what I'm saying? So everything we did for the last 15, 18 years of our life has been surrounded by, the kids. So one thing I did tell Mel, when baby girl turned 10, our youngest, she turned 10, I said, all right, baby, we're going to put ourselves on an 8-year plan. An 8-year plan. I said, in 8 years, last one will be at the house. We got to figure out where we're going to be at in 8 years, what we want to accomplish, what we're going to do. And I said, if you ain't on board, I'm going to do it by myself. But I realized that when I saw that with CJ, it gave me the mindset to really start finding me and finding us.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's real good. So what would you say, and both of you can answer this, what would you say to a couple that is either watching live or they're going to go back and watch the replay, and they are struggling? You're 20 years in now, but like you said, your first 3, 4, those were formative years and you struggled in those years. I heard people say, the 7-year mark, if you can make it to the 7-year mark, you got it. I don't know. So what kind of advice would you give a young couple starting out that may be in that,
I don't know, space?
That listen, Negro, like
I'm gonna tell you, the world. I think the world got it. Not the. I don't think. I know the world got it wrong, man. We didn't go into the relationship trying to figure out an exit plan. We never. There was never an exit plan. We went into the relationship with the mindset of final. This is it. This is where I want to be at for the rest of my life. How I got there is because I already saw the ingredients that I needed to sustain a healthy and a prosperous life with her. So that's what I saw. The fact that I love her was the icing on the cake. Right. We went into this thing saying, "Look, I want to be with her." So since I was there, then I had to keep reminding myself. Keep reminding yourself why you got to where you at. Yeah. Keep reminding yourself your why. Keep reminding yourself that, hey, at some point you did love her. You did love him. At some point, things were, and if they're not the worst person in the world, they're not abusing you, they're not out here mistreating you mentally, emotionally, sexually, if they're not out here doing damage to you, and you just have difference of opinion or difference of ideology, that's still something to figure out.
I love it. I think also for me too, a pivotal thing for me was if both parties could, like he was saying, write those things down. At some point, you loved each other. What are the things? I would write down a list. What's the good things about him? What's this? What are the things, areas of opportunity for him? And then make that a discussion piece. Baby, these are the things that I think of you and that I'm having issues with. That's one portion of it. The transparency in that. But the other thing I was going to say too is what we fail to do, both people, is we fail to look at ourselves. So we really do great at pointing. He's doing this to me. He is making me feel. She is making me feel. What is my part in why this marriage is not working? I was one example I was thinking about was a time when we got so busy, just kids, church work, different things in our lives, work. And I was like, well, you know what? And I was feeling like, I just want him to be more like this. I want him to be more affectionate. I want him to do this, but we're so busy. But I said, okay, well, maybe what I need to do is be what I need him to see. So I started saying, well, if we sat together, then I was sitting together like this. Versus I'm over here and I'm like, why isn't he touching me? So I made myself an active participant in changing what I wanted to see, changing things in the way I wanted to see. But you have to be internal first. So we fail oftentimes at looking at what's my part in this instead of just blaming. And I'm not saying that the other person is right or wrong. No. It's just, what can I do to not add to the problem, but to make the problem better?
The best person you can fix is yourself.
Is yourself, absolutely.
The best person you can fix is yourself. And sometimes that means you may have to fix your mentality or your perception about a thing until your partner is able to come on board. Okay, she may never be able to cut this tree down. I got to be able to change my... I'm trying not to go there.
Be on time.
I ain't going there with you. I got to fix my mind and say, hey, this is not going to be a reason why I'm going to allow us to have this constant energy, negative energy between us, because she can't cut a tree, because she can't be on time, because I can't put a toilet seat down, because,
yes, that's one right there.
Because I'm not going to allow this to be negative energy, and I'm going to change my mindset, because those are things that are not going to necessarily kill you. And it doesn't do anything to you other than maybe hurt your ego, hurt your pride, hurt you there. But listen, again, I still got to understand, this is not about an exit. This is about us figuring out, because we're not leaving the ship, as you said earlier.
Right. So divorce is not an option.
Not an option. And if you have that mindset, I guarantee you a lot more people will find solutions.
Yeah.
Versus saying, I have a way out. Because it's always, listen, the easy thing, it's always going to be a way out. It's always going to be a way for you to leave. It's always going to be a way for you to escape. It's always going to be a reason. and some good, some even better, and you have some great reasons. But the truth of the matter is, in order for this to work, you still got to be able to put the work in.
And that could be with anything in life. You know, I always give the example that it's really funny to me with marriages. We go to jobs every day that we cannot stand, with bosses and coworkers that we don't like or we don't get along with. And we constantly show up there.
Show up.
In the proper attire that we're supposed to have, in all of those things. And we don't like the place. But we show up there consistently because somewhere along the way, there's going to be an immediate gratification for me. In marriage, it cannot be about you.
Right.
It is a completely selfless institution. So I think that's the thing that people have to realize when they're going into it. If you're going into it and you're marrying him because he's going to save you, he's going to change your life, he's going to fix it, he's going to make it better, and the same for her, then you already kind of behind the 8 ball.
You're defeated.
Because when they don't do those things,
and they won't. They won't. I would never be able to live up to the ideal man she has. She would never be able to live up to the ideal woman that I have in my head, in her mind. We can't live up to those. So therefore, we cannot hold each other hostage to ideas and thought process that we formulated.
Yeah.
I mean, my own Princess Leia. She would never be Princess Leia. She is Melissa. And I have to learn to love the Melissa that I married and be just as in love with Melissa as the image of the Princess Leia in my head.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because the Melissa she was when you first met her ain't the Melissa she is 5 babies later, 20 years into the marriage. So because that's another issue. That's another issue when you talk about marriages, especially long-term marriages that have stood the test of time. Sometimes there's this for grantedness that has taken place. You take each other for granted. Sometimes you're so involved in the family's growth and the family's advancement that you let yourself go. You know, the sex ain't what it used to be when y'all first got together, and now you're here, and maybe you get some and maybe you don't. And if you're lucky, you might win this week, and if not, next week is always an option. I'm just saying, how do you guys marry sex and the bedroom? How is that? Because y'all still young. So, you know, we know y'all having plenty of sex because y'all got 5 kids. But I'm just saying, you know, they're older now.
Baby.
I'm trying to set the stage for you, Daniel. Get yourself together.
I'm good now. Come on.
But I'm just saying, so let's talk about that, because there are a lot of marriages, believe it or not, they look good on the outside because there's a presentation to maintain, but there is crickets in the bedroom.
Crickets in the bedroom. So let me plug this right quick. There is my pastor has a great book out there. I mean, Dr. Grace wrote a book, Married, as you mentioned, Married Sex in the Bedroom. That book will change your life if you use it effectively and you apply it correctly. The truth of the matter is, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And when you learn to deal with each other according to knowledge, you understand that you will continue to grow. You'll continue to understand the different changes, different stages of your life. But you'll also keep the things pertinent or important, the main things. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the marriage sex event is all about us being able to be intimate with one another. It's about us being able to be into each other. It's about us being able to still 20 years later share with each other, because the sex is great, but the sex without intimacy lacks power.
Wow.
Let me say that again. Sex is great, but sex without intimacy lacks power. Because what it does, what I'll continue to do is jump from one sex partner to another sex partner, another sex partner, looking for a fit,
that high.
That high that I'll never get, because it's just sex.
Yeah.
But now I'm because we're into each other, because she sees into me and I see into her, we have the ability to be intimate. Now that sex got the power. I'm not looking for quick fixes. I'm getting high, so high, so high that I ain't trying to come down. You know, but again, it all starts and shares with knowledge and and also here is the thing for my saved people that don't like talking about sex. Here's the thing. I think you ought to go to the Book of Solomon. The Book of Solomon saved our relationship year after year. No, not just save it, help encourage it, strengthen it, make it better. Because all the stuff we talk about we don't want to do, and guess what? It's in there. Guess what? She gonna stand underneath my tree, and guess what? And enjoy the berries of my fruits. You know why? Because it's in the Bible. Guess what? I'm gonna enjoy
her nectar.
Peachy. I'm gonna keep peachy. All right.
Her nectar. You're gonna enjoy the nectar.
I'm just gonna enjoy, and the lilies of the fields. You gotta understand what that is. What the lilies of the fields are. Grazing. Like a gazelle, But you gotta give it. You have to understand what it is, right? So we got two. And I'm gonna continue to keep depositing into her account. So when I'm waiting for the withdrawal, I got plenty to withdraw from.
Well, Melissa. Well. He gonna keep depositing. Okay.
So they missed that. I'm going to keep depositing into her account. So when I'm ready to withdraw, I'm ready to withdraw from.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
You just made her blush all.
I mean, okay. Same question.
Same question.
His version is so pretty. Mine is, I really enjoy it. And it's good and I'm getting it right. No, but I mean, those are all true things. But truthfully, I think what makes it hard, this is something I was just thinking about last week, talking to somebody about their relationship. It's really hard to be in a relationship with somebody when you don't like them. Even if you love them,
right?
You can really love somebody, but not like them. And because you don't like their ways, you don't like how they operate, how they move, something about it.
About the way they chew their food,
the way, you know what I'm saying? Like you can really not like a person. So when you really like them and then on top of it love them, I think that just opens doors for so many things. How you see them, how you want to be near them. And so that for me is what the driving factor is. Like, because we talk about it all the time with people. Like we have days where we don't. We are not the perfect couple. So if anybody has that image, it's not. It's a farce. We have days where we are absolutely like, and days where I'm like, just which apartment do you want? Because I want to be over here. You know what I mean? Like we have our times. And so, but what I do is overall like who he is and what he stands for. And I think that draw right there makes it like, and oh, by the way, I think my husband looks good. So I'm like, hey, so it makes it easier. So it's all that stuff. It's the attractiveness. And the part you talked about before, you were talking about losing yourself. That's the thing. That is so real. Because as I said, in parenting and us doing things, I became teen mom. My kids are all in all types of sports and doing all different things. So I was traveling around. So everything I wore, everything I put on, everything I did with my hair had to be like utility. It couldn't be fashion. And cute. And I didn't have time for it. Right. I remember my BFF Tanya said to me, Melissa, you no longer have to carry this baby bag around as a purse. I'm going to take it from you and I'm getting you a bag. Because I after my kids were already like out of daycare and stuff, I was still carrying a baby bag as a purse because I was for so many years, you know, my kids
Right.
back to back.
Yeah,
So
back
for
to
so
back.
many years, that was like it carried everything fit in there that I needed. She was like, you can be like a person now, not like having a baby bag. And so but it was a mindset that was going on. And so you can lose yourself. And when that happens, that also pulls from your intimacy. Because you got to think, like, now my husband's looking at me like, well, what you got on? Well, you know, he may not say it, but it's like at one point you used to do these things. Now you look like teen mom and you're like, what's happening? So you do have to get to a point where that's why, you know, how they give you the analogy of putting the mask on yourself before you can put it on other people. It's important to take care of yourself. Because if you don't mentally self-care in the way that I'm talking about, like getting your mind and your mental health, because the world has a thing called self-care, but it's selfish care. It's not the same.
Wow.
And
Wow.
so when you want to talk about self-care, you do have to take care of yourself. Go somewhere and pray. Go work out. Go do the things that you have to do for yourself. I'm still learning. People will still tell you that I'm still here like, I gotta, because it is a balance. It's a balancing act. But if you neglect an area for too long, it's like anything you feed is gonna grow. So if I
Absolutely.
stop dressing myself, if I stop trying to put on makeup when I want to feel pretty, if I stop doing those things, after a while, that just doesn't affect me. It affects my spouse. So in thinking about myself, I'm thinking about him too. So to bring all that intimacy, to keep all the sex and all the things in the relationship, we have to make sure we are maintaining ourselves as well too. So
Right. Understood. And I love that. One of the things I want you to tap into here is, and a question I want you to talk about, because a lot of couples deal with this too, outside influences.
Very, very, very good.
Outside influences that positively and negatively impact the home. Speak to it.
I think a lot of times, and that's a good point, Shannon. A lot of times, couples struggle with this thought process. People try to define and tell you what your relationship should be or look like. People try to say what's good for your relationship or what's not good for your relationship. A lot of times, when we were younger in our relationship, we used to say, "Well, you can't do that. Why can't we do that? Because so and so said that don't look good on us." Well, so and so ain't us. So how should that affect our relationship? But it does. People will tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. People will tell you how things look,
what
what's
affection
appropriate,
looks like,
what
what
affection.
this looks like.
He should be laughing like that,
He
or
should be.
he should be standing like
He
this,
has to hold
or
the door
she
open
should do
for
this.
you. He has to do this. He has to do that. And that might work. That might be nice. And it is chivalrous. It's all those things. But if you don't need it, it's okay for you not to need it.
So you have to be able to identify and structure your relationship that works well for you. That works well for you, because at the end of the day, people are going to again tell you what your relationship should be and should not be. And additionally, here's the thing: family are either going to make your relationship stronger or it's going to tear it apart. Families are going to make your relationship stronger or it's going to tear it apart. And so, one thing Mel and I, we have to learn coming up in our relationship is that though we love our family, because we both have strong families, we have strong families, and they love us, and they love us, and they love us for each other. But even coming up, they still had their ideology. Again, Mel came from what? The Huxtables, and I came from Good Times. So we still have to merge those ideas together, but we have to tell our family what worked well for us.
Yeah.
And what didn't work well for us.
Yes.
And make sure that they understood that.
Yeah.
Be okay putting your family in their place. Be
Absolutely.
Okay putting your family in their place.
Right.
It's not disrespecting them. It's not being disrespectful. It's not trying to make anybody feel big or smaller. It's simply just saying my relationship with my wife matters to me. And I'm going to build this. We're going to build this to the best of our abilities. When and if we need your help with something, we'll let you know. Otherwise, thank you, but no thank you.
Yep.
And Lavetta shared a line from a movie, La 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 Kawanda Blues or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying it right. But she says there are some things between a woman and a man that only they will understand.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things, and so I think that is true. And a lot of times when you keep family and friends out of your business, okay, that life just works better in a marriage.
And I'm
Right?
not just talking. We're not just talking. That scripture.
Yeah, that
It
is.
says
That's right.
the woman, when a man's ready married, they leave their family. They go about their
Yeah.
business.
They
You
cleave to each other.
you cleave to your wife. You leave
To
your
my
mama
week.
in the house. This is it.
I don't let. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't say that. I don't say that. And I don't want to come off as if the family is not important, because sometimes family's also going to help save you. Family's going to help save you in some situations where we didn't know no better. We were able to rely on our family, our elders, and they were able to help to steer us back to some direction. But again, that's the task. Like I said, family's either going to bring you closer together,
That's right.
or they're going to tear you apart.
Yeah.
You just gotta watch what kind of family members you have.
Yeah.
Right. So
then,
go ahead. Go ahead, Melissa.
I was gonna say, then you also have to watch the friends that you keep, because I have seen marriages, divorce happen because you had a single friend in your ear. And there's nothing wrong, because I have single friends. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to know that you can balance that yourself, because your single friend is going to be able to do things and be a part of stuff that you can't always be a part of or do or talk about or think about, because that could be a place of temptation or movement away from, for you. But you have to also be able to have those type of friend, a single friend or a friend who's dating, and see them and not get pulled into their world maybe, or their thought processes sometimes. Because what happens is you can't go to necessarily them all the time for advice. Sometimes you can. It's not that you can't because they're single, but it's just what happens sometimes is they're like, well, girl, because say they've never been married, let's say. They're like, well, girl, why are you taking that from him? Just leave. But they don't understand all the time how the covenant of marriage works.
Absolutely.
And since they don't have that understanding, for them, it's like, well, it's just simple, right? Just walk away. But it's not like walking away from a boyfriend.
Exactly.
You have a whole covenant, and it's not just with the person. It's with God.
Right. It's with God.
That's good.
There is
not just with the person.
Yeah. So you have to really be able to manage and balance that. I'm not saying throw your friend away, because I don't throw anybody away. But just understand, be able to manage that.
Absolutely. Marriage is ministry. I love it. I love it. Jamaica, Missouri.
What's going on, Jay?
But marriage is ministry. I do know, and I love that. I often say that if you're not ready to minister to each other, don't get married, because it is ministry. You tapped into something. I just kind of want to tap into it. We can hit it and quit it. But infidelity, adultery is a real issue in marriages. And a lot of times it be the little foxes. Like I'll be telling people, now granted, I'm not married today and I haven't been for 25 years, but I was married. And infidelity is what destroyed my marriage, right? But what I want to say about that is that oftentimes the warning signs are there. The things that you don't pay attention to, that's where the ministry in marriage comes in at, right? Yes. Because when a woman who you married 20 years ago was a size 6, size 8 Coca-Cola bottle, and now she done gave you 5 babies, and now maybe she leading towards a leader, she a little leader, you know what I'm saying? And a man might stray, his eyes might stray to flesh. I get it, but at some point, because you are in this covenant of marriage, something if nothing but the fear of God seeing you, right? Something should govern your actions, man and woman, because I've seen it way both sides. I wasn't the one in my marriage. However, I do know women who have been pulled astray, because let me tell you something about the love language and one's inability to speak it and recognize it. For instance, you've been working hard losing these 20 pounds, but because he's been working so hard, he hasn't even recognized that you've lost them. You understand? You done changed your hair from black and brunette to you a blonde. He don't even, because he don't, but you go to work. And the guy the guy who works with you say, wait a minute, Melissa, I ain't never seen you in that outfit before. I've been watching everything you wear. He said, wait a minute, Melissa, you done lost a couple of pounds now. See, he noticing everything that you wish your husband would, and vice versa. Your husband worked like a dog to bring home the bacon and take care of the family, and all he get is nag, because you trying to rise him up to the woman house down the street, and you don't know she getting her head bashed in every night to drive that Bentley or that Lexus or but your husband doing the best he can to make sure you keep the house you got and the car you drive, but you steady with your mouth. The Bible talks about that too, and probably a foolish woman tells a house down with a mouth. Come on, a wise woman uses it to build it up, but a foolish woman will tear it down with the same mouth. So we got to make sure, and I want you to speak to that, because it's a real issue in marriages, infidelity and how that little fox gets in there. But most people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to acknowledge it. They want to act like it don't exist, but it's real. The little sister at the church who always got something to say to the deacon after, baby, it's when service hours are this to this. Okay? Let's be clear. Come on, because it ain't that much. Send it in an email. Okay? I'm just saying. Now let me digress, because this y'all should not mind.
No, we did.
I'm just saying. Let's deal with it.
I think I started talking about it a little earlier. It's important, because temptation is not just a matter of, we didn't get to a point of sex. Like you've alluded to it. The temptation happens because there's a couple things that happens. We begin the drift process. And so one thing we have to watch out is the drifting. That means at some point somewhere, we stop being interested in the same things, in the same places, in the same conversations, in the same, I don't know, experiences. And
I didn't like you for too long.
And I began to go my way in terms of what I like. She goes her way in terms of what she likes. And so there's the drift process, right? And that drift process, what happens now, you allow yourself to be on opposite ends of the spectrum. And if you're not careful, that drift will lead you down the river. It's not the fast raft that gets you down the river. It's a lot of time, it's the slow paced river that takes you out in the middle of the ocean, and before you realize it, you way out there on the raft by yourself. Oh, so wow. It's not the big waves that come at you. It's the slow drift.
Yeah, right. Now, and so Minister Tasha said something I love, and I hate these terms: work husbands and work wives. I can't stand it.
Yeah, no, that's true. So, and when you hear people talk about infidelity, it's never, because I felt she was attractive or he was attractive. I wanted to do this to my wife, do this to my wife. The first thing you always hear about is that, well, he filled the need. He filled the need that I had. That need happens because of the drift. The second thing we stopped doing, we stopped being into each other. Yeah, we stopped being intimate. And because you allow yourself to not have that type of intimacy, then you allow yourself to be open portal for somebody else to, again, fulfill that need of intimacy. And so a lot of times when you have this infidelity in relationship, that's why I tell people, I don't think that's the reason why. I don't think that should be a reason why people should leave each other.
You're talking about
infidelity. Now, hear me out. Because the infidelity a lot of times is a result of something else. I would like to get to the root cause and figure out whether or not the root cause of that infidelity is something that we decide that this should be something that's permanently broken or something we can mend back together.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Mel?
I'm the same. I think he said it pretty well. I think, as the Bible says, you deal with people, especially a spouse, according to knowledge.
Yeah.
So it's important to constantly, even in the changes of life, get to know who your spouse is. If you gave the example of when you're married, you look this way. When you get a little older, you've had kids, now you look this way. So now, how do I learn to love her this way? How do I learn to love him this way? What's changed about him that is now a need that might not have been a need before? And you start to get to know those things. I think it's the best thing when you deal with somebody according to knowledge, because what we as women need is, when we are going through something, and I know they say, they often make jokes like, oh, well, we want them to read our minds. It's not that. We do want you to read us, but that's the discernment piece of it. We want you to see that I'm struggling with something, that I'm feeling some kind of way, and maybe he's seeing that I don't feel the best about myself. So that's a moment when maybe I need you to come and say, I think you're beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, it could be the smallest things, but what ends up happening to us is, in those moments, instead of using knowledge, we allow flesh to get in the way, and we turn away from them and look at what we want to see. So we're like, well, she used to look like this person, or she used to be this way, or she used to act this way, she used to say this, instead of, again, being selfless and realizing, you know what, she can't look that way right now. She just had these 5 kids. She can't do these things right now. She's doing this. So once we can start to, I think, have a little empathy for each other and for where we are, then you can love each other back to a better place, and you can avoid that. Or if it's happened, you can come back because you can learn from it. So that's the thing.
Do you think that there's because I tried it just mentally, it didn't. Do you think that there's a comeback after infidelity?
Absolutely.
I believe I gotta believe. One thing I learned, that there's probably not much, again, because we didn't go into this with the mindset of an exit plan, right? And so I gotta believe that God can mend our hearts to a place where we can move forward. I gotta believe that, and I don't know it to be true or not, because I haven't had that God to experience that. But when you have such a trauma experience in your relationship, I gotta believe that God honors your relationship enough that He will mend your heart enough to move forward. Because let no man put us under, right? So that means even me in my worst state, I still shouldn't have the impact to put us under. I shouldn't be able to destroy what God had put together. And if we're saying that this is a God walk and a God designed place in our lives, then I have to believe, because
You have to believe.
I gotta believe that He should be able to mend her heart back to that place where we can move forward.
And that
especially as Christian marriages.
As Christian,
because
I'm talking to
the world,
right?
Exactly. But as a Christian marriage, a marriage that's based on the foundation that God ordained for marriage, I do believe that there is, because we will tell people God can do anything but fail. But then our marriages are failing more rapidly than the world.
Right.
So
and a crazy
who's lying? Us?
Yeah, I think it's not just. So again, like he had made the point earlier, that was the resulting act of a root problem. So I think when you have any situation, right? Like if you're in school and you fail a test, when you get that test back, what do most of us do with the test? We go back and we look at the questions we got wrong, and we're like, Dad, what did I do? Why did I get that? I'm suggesting you do the same thing with your marriage. And so when you get to that fail, you come back and you're like, well, what were the things that led here that caused my, because it's going to feel hurtful and horrible. I'm not saying there's not going to be work to it, and there's not going to be trust building that has to occur. But what I'm saying is understand that that thing happened for a reason. And oh, by the way, I could have been the driving force for that.
And I was going to say, to her point, let me clarify this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not suggesting that if your man out here just sleeping around willy-nilly, just out here,
just keep coming
got
back.
a different girl, got a different girl that we talking about, can't have one, got to have three, I ain't talking about that man. I ain't talking about that lady, because they are who they are. They decide to be who they are. And now that's what they decide to do. You no longer have to be bound by that. But what I'm talking about, when we fall into these places of temptations, when we fall into these places where infidelity does take place, it's between that versus somebody who's out here that's just their lifestyle. Well, you know what? You're dangerous to myself and you're dangerous to yourself.
Yeah.
I can no longer be a part of that. Because now you out here trying to live any old kind of way, do any old kind of thing. Now you trying to jeopardize not just yourself, but now you're jeopardizing my life.
Right.
And me physically. And I would suggest that I put a stamp on that, and I wouldn't suggest that for anybody. Right. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when I say to be able to mend back together, the person or persons who through life slipped, fell, had a moment of insecurity, had a moment where they were not in right standing, had a moment where they were probably insane or whatever the case might be, had a moment where they were out of fellowship with God and themselves and their mate.
Yeah,
that's the process that I would like to go through to see whether or not is there something there that we can mend together to move forward. Yeah. Because again, that's me coming from the place of I didn't get into this with an exit plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the fact that you guys have been married for 20 years speaks volume to your commitment to the covenant of marriage. I am listen, I'm gonna tell you, the chat has been going live. I don't know if you guys see it there. I put it up so you can visually see the comments coming up on the screen there. But I am just I knew that you guys were the right ones to open up this month of Couples Unplugged with. I am so excited. I want you guys to come back. We was only supposed to do an hour. It looks like we're gonna have this 1.5 hours. I know we could go to 2 hours because the singles did. Like, I couldn't believe it, but we literally was on these platforms for 2 hours and people stayed in the chats with us for 2 hours. But I know that you being married, I wanted to respect that, especially with family. And then you got to do marriage ministry business and stuff like that. I didn't want to interfere with all of that. So I was trying to time it right. But it's been an hour and a half well spent. And I definitely want more of it with you all. So as we are continuing Couples Unplugged, we hope that you will keep your Thursday schedules fluid. So if we need y'all to come back, we would love to have you to come back, because I know that there's even single people looking to be married that need good examples of what a healthy Christian marriage looks like. It's not perfect.
No.
Not by far.
No.
It's not without its challenges, but it's grounded and rooted in what the Word of God says for the family.
That's right.
And I believe that you all represent that well. You have been fruitful and multiplied. And you have stayed together and raising your family and doing ministry together and doing life together, and you've made a commitment to it that ain't nobody going nowhere. Divorce is not an option.
Yeah.
And we're gonna ride this till the wheels fall off. And I'm just excited that, I'm the only, listen, and I'm gonna say this for the record, so y'all run and tell that. I'm the only other baby mama that Negro got. You understand? I'm the only other baby mama. And to all the other godmamas, I ain't talking about y'all. I'm the VIP.
I'm about to say a certain godmother might have something to say, but
yeah, I know. That's why I had to get that straight. I ain't the other godmamas are just that. You godmamas, I'm the baby mama. Okay. So, because I get him right tone for Melissa now. You know, not about her. I'll pull that Negro beard.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Meet me outside.
Yes, she will.
Yes, I will. She know I will. But I am so excited. Yes, Lady Change, a book of the Carr Chronicles. Yes. She said y'all need to write a book. I've been telling Melissa that I've been telling her for years. Like even with the Child Learning Center, the Carr, like she's
giving me the whole.
She got a whole freaking daycare already. She don't raise them now, though. That's the problem. I told her back when they was little, you need a daycare.
Yeah.
But now they about to be grown themselves. And so but I thank God for the love that flows here. It's felt, the energy was awesome tonight. You guys are just that couple, man, and we're just proud and honored to have y'all. So I'm gonna give you all the opportunity to have any last closing, imparting words. The chat loves y'all. We definitely want to
love you guys. Thank you.
Man, love.
Well, we thank you for having us on. It's actually humbling, and it's sort of, it's just humbling, I guess. I don't know another word to say, but we enjoy this. This is what we love. We feel like God built us for it. And, you will hear more from us because we have some things in the wings that we're working on. So we will have a podcast ourselves.
Oh, great! Congratulations!
So you will see. So
y'all heard it here first on Couples Unplugged.
Yeah, look out for the Love Notes.
Yes.
The Love Notes podcast.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
We just want to be able to be a blessing to the community, blessing to those anybody who wants to listen, man. And we don't mind telling our story. We don't mind sharing. We don't mind showing.
Transparency helps, y'all. I know some of us are afraid to share, but it's helpful.
And I promise you, like, when you hear some of the things, you're like, oh, so I'm not the only one. Nah, I promise you, you are not the only one that's going through what you're going through. You're not the only one that is in the situation that you're in. You're not the only one to see things the way you see things. We have some stories to tell. We want to make sure that you understand that where you are can be a lot different to where you're going. Because God, as long as God is in control, He will bring you to that place you want to be at.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of days I love her. A lot of days, all days I love her. A lot of days I like her. And the days I don't like her, we'll figure out.
Right. Exactly.
No, but
and I know she'd say the same thing about you.
Same thing.
Of course. Hey, look, listen, this is what we do, But no, I couldn't ask God for a better wife, a better husband. I couldn't ask God, for someone, she loves me like can't nobody else love me. And I know that to be true. I've been knowing her for the better half of her life
longer than my parents.
Wow.
So
isn't that interesting? That you have loved her, known her longer than her parents. You took her out of their house.
Right.
Longer than they have known her.
So and we're just getting started. We want to, and we thought it not robbery to not only just share, but offer what we can, man. Because we understand together we are
not
stronger.
Gatekeeping here.
Well, no, there's no gatekeeping here. There's no.
We trying to help.
There's no secret sauce. There's no magic potion. It's work.
Yeah.
And we can help you get to that work, and we'll help you get through that work.
And it's worth it. Yeah.
Oh, well, I am so honored. Again, I will have you guys back because we want to hear more about the podcast, what we can expect from that. I remember when Love Knows Birth, and it was something different, and now it's evolving. And so I love it that you're still flowing with the same title and moving on to a new platform with it. But I'm excited for you both. I'm excited for the Carr kids. I know that, greater and better is coming.
Yes.
God has a plan for it. It may not look like it now. It may. What did we do? Where did we go wrong? What do we? Because I'll be asking myself the same thing. Like what? But
we didn't do
this. I do know.
We didn't plant that seed.
I know we didn't plant this. Who? An enemy has done this, right? Oh. But it's gonna get better. I promise you, it'll get better. Y'all stick and stay. Marriage is ministry, and you guys are doing it well. Keep God first.
Yes, absolutely.
Keep God first in everything that you do. He will direct your path. That's what the word of the Lord tells us. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not to thine own understanding, but in all of your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. I tell them all the time, people got more faith in Google and Siri than they have in God.
Come on.
Because people are asked Google everything all day long. And now don't ask God nothing unless they're in a 911 situation.
Right.
Lord help. Right. But they'll ask Google everything. They'll ask AI. They'll ask Siri. But they won't ask God.
Nope.
So that's my little spiel for tonight. If you have enjoyed tonight, I want you to make sure you share this live. Next week, we have a couple that met on Facebook.
Wow.
The Joneses in the house on next week. Yes, keeping up with the Joneses. Listen, the Joneses will be in the house on next week. They met on Facebook. I'm excited. Can't wait to hear their story and their testimony and talk with them on next week, Thursday. But we're going to have the Carrs back. And then at one point, as we're doing this series of live talks, we're going to have all the couples that we bring on that come on a show together. Nice. Because I think that will be very powerful and impactful to see how the different men think, the different wives think, and then as a couples, how they think. I think that's going to be very good. So I'm excited about it. Thank you again. I'm Pastor Sharon, that smart of the Dwelling Church of God. I love you guys to life. And it's absolutely nothing you could do about it but love me back. Thank you to my baby mama and my baby daddy. My godson name is Dean Carr, and he is the up and rising coming star. Y'all look out for more places, I'm telling you. All right, I love you. Love y'all too. Thank y'all again. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.